So I've had the new MacBook Pro M1 Max 16-inch for just about a week now. And in fact, since I got it, I've released one video every single day. So I've gotten a pretty good sense on what I like about it, what I don't like about it, and my initial impressions after 1 week of use. Now, just for a little bit of reference, I am a full-time college student, a student athlete, and I've started a YouTube channel which I'm trying to take as seriously as possible, trying to grow it, also trying to grow a couple online brands. So I'm pretty invested in the whole online space and the content creation world, if you will. So that was what incentivized me to purchase this computer. I'm coming from a 13-inch M1 MacBook Pro. It was the base model, and going to this now, I've seen quite a few things that I really like, and I'm gonna share that with you in this video. If you're new to the channel, my name is Aryan. Welcome, click that subscribe button, and let's just get right into it. So I wrote a couple of things down, and I've kind of broken this video into 5 main categories, which is gonna be the design, the display, the performance of this laptop, my experience using it, and how I use it, so the usage of it. So let's start with the usage. This might give you a little bit of insight on what types of users use this laptop. Like I said, I'm a college student, so I do a lot of my schoolwork on here, but since it's a 16-inch, content creation on this is a dream. Like I said, I've been making a YouTube video every single day on this machine, so it's my main YouTube device. I pretty much do all my editing, photo editing, video editing, everything on here. I dabble a little bit in graphic design, especially creating some of the thumbnails for this channel, and I plan on starting an online company as well. So that's kind of what I use this computer as. I also do use this computer as one of my main entertainment devices. As you'll see later on in this video, I'll explain more in detail, but I love watching Netflix on this, movies, YouTube videos. Content on this device looks absolutely incredible. Now, let's go over the design of this new MacBook. Right off the bat, I just want to say the design is lovely. When I first saw this on the keynote, I mentioned this before, but I wasn't the biggest fan. I thought it looked really like old and retro, but I went to the Apple store and I saw YouTube videos, and now having this in hand, I can honestly say the style grew on me quite a lot. I really like the boxy design of it. I like how it's a little bit thicker now. It makes the whole machine feel really industrial. It makes it feel like it's capable of getting a lot of work done. It's like kind of intangible, but it just has a really good feel to it. Now, the little changes that they made that go a long way for me are the black keyboard. I absolutely love this. It does get a little bit fingerprints more than it was before, but the style of that, I'll take that trade-off any day of the week. Like I said, I'm coming from the 13-inch M1 MacBook Pro, and going to the 16-inch, I was a little bit hesitant on if it's gonna be too big. It fits in my bags pretty easily. When I'm carrying it around, I haven't had any issues with it. So the 16-inch is great because it has a lot of real estate. The battery is bigger, the screen's bigger, especially if you're into content creating like I am. Now, speaking of that screen, let's just dive into the display. It is a vibrant display. It's bright, colorful. One thing you really notice right away, especially compared to some of the older screens, is the contrast on it. So those blacks are really deep, and that's thanks to the new mini LED. Like, it's pretty much a Pro Display XDR shrunk down with 120 Hz. And let me tell you, that 120 Hz is nice. I could tell that it's not 120 Hz all the time. I think that some apps are still getting updated, but overall, especially some of the animations, like if you're scrolling or if windows are getting minimized into the dock, or you're swiping through pages in the launch pad, that is really smooth. It makes the computer feel faster than it is. And honestly, it's really nice because my phone is 120 Hz, my iPad is 120 Hz, and now the computer being 120 Hz, it spoiled me completely. I don't think I could ever go back. Now, the screen also has HDR, and I didn't really notice how big of a deal HDR was until I was scrolling through a website that had a few HDR pictures, and I was like shocked at how bright and vibrant those are. So all in all, the 16-inch screen is amazing for content creation because it gives you a lot more real estate, especially if you're coming from the 13-inch like I am. And by nature, that means that entertainment on this device is absolutely a dream. Netflix movies, YouTube videos, you name it, it looks amazing. It also sounds amazing. Like these speakers, when I first play a song, I was like, yo, this kind of almost sounds like a Bluetooth speaker in itself. Speakers are amazing. You're gonna enjoy pretty much everything. And a little bit about the notch. I know that's a little bit of a controversial subject To me personally, I don't even notice the notch anymore, especially if you have like a dark background, it kind of just goes away. And once you're using an app, especially with the 16-inch, the screen is big enough where to this day, I haven't noticed it one single time. If you look for it, obviously it's there, but if you're just going about your work, you'll never know that it's actually there. Now, probably the most important category, especially about a device like this, is the performance. So the specs of this laptop are the M1 Max. It has the 24-core GPU instead of the 32-core GPU. It has 32 gigabytes of RAM and 1 terabyte of storage. Now, what I need a computer to do is I needed to edit my videos without slowing down. I needed to handle photo editing, video editing, graphic design perfectly well, and school, I'm not too worried about that because pretty much any laptop can be fine for taking notes. So let me throw it out there that I am a Final Cut user, so I'm not going to explain how the performance is for Premiere or DaVinci because I don't use those. So one thing in Final Cut Pro is now that it's always in high quality mode. On my M1 MacBook Pro, I used to have it in better performance so that it didn't slow down, and once I shifted the M1 MacBook Pro, the 13-inch one, to higher quality, it used to drop frames all the time. This one, I put it in higher quality, forget about it, never drops a single frame. I'm shooting with the A7S III in XAVC-SI, I think that's the codec. It's the highest quality one, so it handles it perfectly fine. I'm really happy with that. It handles 30, 60, and 120 frames per second just fine. No stutters at all, so that's something that I'm really happy about. Now, one thing that I have noticed, and I don't know if this is just the settings of Final Cut Pro or if it needs an update or anything, but I feel like it's taking a little bit longer than I'm used to load the waveforms in audio and to load some of the video clips. Like when it's in your timeline in Final Cut Pro, I feel like to show the preview, it's taking a little bit longer than I'd like it to. I'm gonna dive into settings, but that's just something I noticed right off the bat, that there is a little bit of delay in that. Overall though, the performance of this is really, really good. I'm not the type of guy to throw out numbers and specs and that at you. I'm coming from a very practical and usage focused centered video. So my experience with it, that's what I'm sharing. I'm not gonna be doing benchmarks or anything. I feel like it's more valuable for me to just tell you how it performs in my opinion, coming from the M1 MacBook Pro. It's never stuttered on me when I'm editing videos, especially when I'm having heavy color grades and different effects in Final Cut Pro. It handles that completely fine. So performance gets a big thumbs up from me. Now, lastly, my experience with this after 1 week. I'm a guy who loves tech. Let's just put that out there. I love new stuff, but I love this a little bit extra. I really, really enjoy using this machine. It makes me happy, it makes me excited to create, and I think that's a feeling that you can't really replicate with something else. From experience, like I said multiple times, video every single day since I got this machine, handled it perfectly well. I want to create more using this. My workflow has gotten a lot faster because the ports are now back. I don't have to carry the SD card dongle with me. I can put it right in. It's very, very easy, and I'm very happy about those ports being back. MagSafe, it's nice. Don't have too many opinions on MagSafe. I think it's a nice addition, but it's not the biggest reason in the world to upgrade. But to me though, the SD card, I can't say enough good things about that. So now my experience from this has been using it at home, on my desk, in my bed, and at school. I think that this is a really good size. I'm not regretting going for the 16-inch at all. So for example, I was on campus at my university studying. It was a small little couch, a little table in front of me. I had this laptop on my lap. I was doing my work. I was taking some notes for exams, and I was finishing editing a video, and never was I like, oh, I wish this was smaller, I wish it was more portable. I'm perfectly content with the size. So if you're deciding between the 16-inch and the 14-inch and you do end up going with the 16-inch, I think you'll be perfectly good because the benefits that the size get you with more real estate to work with, a really, really nice screen, I think are definitely worth it. Those are my experiences and my impressions after 1 week with the new M1 Max 16-inch MacBook Pro. I really love using this device. You couldn't already tell, I give this a big thumbs up. I'm happy with it. I'm happy that I made the upgrade, and if this video helped you out, maybe making a decision, definitely drop it a like. Like I said, I'm going to be releasing a video every single day, so if that's something you're interested in, click subscribe to this video. My name is Aryan. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.